Hello, I'm Nancy Trimble, one of the deacons. I work for LSIM, and today's devotion is based on text written by Pastor Chuck Swindoll. It's called The Purpose of Proverbs. As we open the book of Proverbs, in order to discover divine wisdom for ourselves, an appropriate question to ask is, why? Why has God preserved these sayings down through the centuries? If we go back to the preamble of the book, we'll find the answer. You might want to glance back over Proverbs 1 through 9, while you listen to this devotion. Pastor Swindoll finds 5 reasons that God gave us this book of wisdom. First of all, to inspire reverence and obedience within the reader's heart. The opening words of the first section establish the purpose of the entire book in very clear terms. To know wisdom and instruction. Remember, in the Hebrew mind, to know wisdom is to put instruction into actual practice. Failing to do so, we know to do is the definition of foolishness. Therefore, the chief aim of the book of Proverbs is to bring divine truth into proper focus, enabling us to look at life through God's eyes, from his eternal, all-knowing point of view, and then live accordingly. Proverbs teaches us to know how to gain wisdom from God's reproofs, so that in the power of the Spirit we will obey. The second is to teach discernment, to discern the sayings of understanding. Discern is a crucial term. The Hebrew term means to separate, to make distinct. Discernment is the ability to look at a situation and clearly see all its moving parts. A discerning mind has the ability to think critically, to distinguish truth from error, and to anticipate the likely consequences of any given choice. Those of us who enter the ministry, part of the process we go through is that of discernment. Thirdly, Pastor Swindoll says that Proverbs is to develop alertness in the walk, to receive instruction in wise behavior, righteousness, justice, and equity. The original term translated receive carries with it the idea of mobility, taking something along with you or hauling something. In this case, the student of God's sayings gains instruction in wise behavior. The Proverbs make us alert for the journey of life. Anyone who has driven long distances can affirm that bad things happen. Wrong turns at best, fatal crashes at worst, when the driver is no longer alert. These Old Testament proverbs help us remain attentive to our surroundings and aware of potential dangers. So I ask you, are you as attentive to God's word as you are to driving? Fourthly, Pastor Swindoll says that Proverbs is written to establish discretion and purpose in life, to give prudence to the naive, to the youth knowledge and discretion. The Hebrew concept of wisdom doesn't put ignorance and foolishness in the same category. The term rendered naiveness means simply those who have not experienced much of life or have not benefited from education are like workers without tools or warriors without weapons. Youthful and naive people approach life poorly equipped, intellectually empty-handed. They cannot accomplish much as laborers, and they remain defenseless against attack. The sages offered this intellectual and spiritual equipment to the simple, to those who are naive and young. While some readers and hearers will be older than others, none have arrived in life's journey, regardless of our age or our experience, each person remains young and naive in some respect. The book of Proverbs, and Solomon's section in particular, assure us that these sayings will equip us for life's challenges. To all those who wander aimlessly, lacking purpose, and embracing merely a human viewpoint of existence, the wisdom of God offers you hope. And lastly, Proverbs are there to cultivate keenness of mind. To understand a proverb and a figure, the words of the wise and their riddles. These sayings will help us think keenly. Divine wisdom will give our minds a razor-sharp edge. Keep in mind, such blades require the application of friction if they are to stay sharp. The process of honing causes sparks and is rarely pleasant. Like that hard stone, the Proverbs prepare our minds to slice through layers of falsehood to the core of truth in any matter. Divine wisdom gives us the ability to understand more of life's riddles, and before long, the grind of a merely human viewpoint will slowly be replaced by the wisdom of God's perspective. I ask you today, after listening to this devotion and also reading the beginning of Proverbs, to formulate your own prayer for yourself based on the concepts that you heard here today. May God bless you richly through this week